how do I really intentionally create that expansion? How do I intentionally communicate to my nervous system that right now I'm safe? Right now I can feel connected to others. Hi, friends. Welcome back. I'm excited that you're here with me for part 5 of our 6-part masterclass on how to feel better by reducing anxiety and improving our mental health. My name is Keuilian. I'm an associate marriage and family therapist trained in somatic experiencing and EMDR. Thank you so much for coming back. We're making such great progress. And just a little recap. We are talking about these ideas on how can we connect our brain back with our body and bring our system into the present moment so that we can feel safe and we can find expansion in our system to open ourselves to enjoyment, to connection with others, to really accessing the radiance that you have at your core. You are radiant and there's nothing wrong with you. You are not broken. You have a complex and resilient system that you're just learning how to work with, right? We're learning how to really release some of the trauma energy from the past, to bring ourselves into the present, and then to find expansion and enjoyment, and teaching our system how to hold on to that and how to live more in this expansion and really to come out of the feeling of being stuck and the feeling of suffering that we have. So thanks for coming back. Today we're talking about how do I really intentionally create that expansion? How do I intentionally communicate to my nervous system that right now I'm safe? Right now I can feel connected to others. Right now I'm in the green, right? We talk about when we're in that fight or flight, we're in the red, and then we go into shutdown and we're like in the blue, and we've been stuck in this cycle of getting a little activated and then dropping down into collapse and getting activated. And now we're like, wait a minute, we can keep going and we can get to this place of feeling good. So today I'm going to give you some ideas on feeling good and really building on the skills we've already established. So the first is that pause and taking those moments when you start with your 5 minutes a day of meditation and training your brain to bring its focus back to breath and doing those sets and reps of like, my mind wanders, I pull it back. And building moments in throughout your day where you just pause and you just start to notice. Notice what's going on. Step out of your experience just for a few seconds and notice your experience, right? I'm the observer. I can observe what's happening around me. I can observe my thoughts. I can observe my emotions. And then I can observe what's happening in my body. And that's this next skill that we talked about and we're building of dropping into your body. Doing a scan, just doing this mental scan of your physical body and noticing what's showing up right now. Is there a feeling of some kind of contraction? Is there a little activation going on? Can we hang out with it? Can you keep your awareness on that discomfort? And now can you bring in the sense of where you are, the here and now, pressing your feet into the ground, noticing gravity on your body, orienting to the space of where you are, taking all of this data in and letting your body know, I'm safe in this moment. I'm tending to the symptoms. I'm aware of what's happening, and I'm just building this capacity to be the witness to my experience. And it gives you this space. It gives you these options to notice and not to just be all caught up in it. Okay, It's been a lot. It's been a journey, and we're building on these skill sets. And I'm so proud of you for sticking with this for this 5th lesson, where we really invite more safety, more expansion into our experience. And we learn how to be in the green, how to get ourselves there, how to hang out there, and how to make it part of our experience. So we go from having an experience that's pretty limited, feels really stuck and uncomfortable, to building in a little bit more expansion, a little bit more. And now we're like, okay, we really want to do some exercises and pick up some skills, but really feeling into this expansion, feeling into this space of possibility and enjoyment. And when you're there, noticing what's true about you. Noticing what's true about your potential and about who you are at your core. And I see and I believe that there's radiance at the core of every single human being on the planet. And it's really our life mission to uncover the layers so that we can access it. And this is where your genius is. Every single one of us has a genius, and it is located at the center in our radiance. And so how do we get more room so we can access and see this about ourselves? So there's different ways. So let's start with noticing that there's probably already activities you do in your life where you really enjoy and you really feel good. And so I'm just going to name off some just different ones, but I want you to be thinking about your life and your experience. And when are those moments where you just feel lighter? And I love how just as a culture, we use these words that indicate that we know a little bit of what's happening, right? We know that when we feel heavy and kind of collapsed, it's not a good feeling. But then we can notice like, oh, like that experience made me feel lighter. That made me feel more open, right? So notice your own life as I'm giving you some options. But what's most important is what really connects for you. So a very simple one is stretching. The act of stretching, if you do it, whether you exercise or not, is very soothing to our system and our body. And you can find videos, like stretching videos, ways to really feel into your muscles, feel into your body in a way that's pleasurable, in a way that's like, oh yes, I'm connecting with my body here. And like, ooh, that feels good. And hanging out with that, just feeling into it, feeling into that physical experience. Dancing is a way that throughout, history, humans have had this, they're connecting with their body and with music and with each other. And it's a very expansive experience. I'm not a very good dancer, as my daughter would tell you, but even me, when you can let yourself get lost in the moment and the music and your body's moving, this is a feeling of expansion, right? Other physical activities like yoga, for me, Pilates, which I love because it's like you're connecting with your body and there's movement and there's stretching and there's strengthening. And it's just like this, oh, this feels good, right? Going for a walk outside is another one where it's like you're moving your body. You have this bilateral stimulation with the back and the left and the right, and you're allowing your brain and your body to connect because you're using your body in this positive way. And this is expansion, right? Maybe you play a sport and you know that when you're playing the sport, when you're not too caught up on your performance and and judgment and all of these things, when you're allowing yourself to get into the flow of something where you use your body, there's this expansion, right? So noticing these activities that we already sometimes do and intentionally doing them more And intentionally, while we do them, paying attention to how it lands in our body, right? So often we can have an experience that is an experience of expansion, but we don't really feel it. And now, part of your practice, you're dropping into your body all the time and you're noticing when things feel bad. Now you're going to notice when things feel good, right? When you're hanging out with your friends and you're having like a belly laugh because they just did something silly, and you notice how that laughter and that connection feels in your nervous system. How does that expansion feel, that being in the green feel? And get familiar with it. Really savor it. And I think of this as the opposite of when we worry. And if you think about how common it is to worry about things, and we have like these intrusive thoughts, and we can take it super far with like, this might happen, and then that might happen, and that might happen. They're all bad, right? And we're really getting caught up in this like future forecasting of, oh, things are going to go so bad. And we're just letting our system marinate in the contraction and really just like, oh, this is home base. We don't like it. It doesn't feel good, but we keep doing it, right? And we know we get into patterns and habits. And so part of this practice this week is about really, when we feel the expansion and the safety, when we notice it. So going back to that, that belly laugh with your friend just did something silly and you're laughing, and just noticing, how does your body tell you in this moment that it's having fun? How does your body tell you that you like something? When you tune in, it's expansion. It's safety. It's enjoyment. You're feeling the experience of like, oh, I feel lighter. What does lighter feel like? So when it happens, hold on to it. The opposite of worry, right? When we start to feel the contraction of worry, we're going to pause, notice that, and then invite in the feeling of expansion, right? The opposite of that. Let's let our system feel more comfortable hanging out here, knowing that life's always going to get you back here, but can you find your way back? And that's what it's all about. And that's why what we're learning with this course is a way of connecting your brain with your body and living this way, right? And that's why these are practices that we have to continue. We have to continue practicing the pause, dropping into our body, being with the sensation, and then really savoring the expansion. And this is how we can learn to live with our system out here, feeling good, not feeling a lot of anxiety, feeling like our mental health is good, knowing that things will happen throughout life, throughout seasons, throughout each day, where we get some contraction. And this helps keep us safe when our system can react, but then finding our way back. And finding our way back faster and faster, and learning to live out here. And this be our experience. Being in nature is a very intrinsic way to feel some expansion. Spending time with your pets, if you have a dog or a cat, horses. These are ways that our system just naturally lets down and naturally feels that enjoyment. Being out in the sun for a few minutes, looking up at a blue sky, noticing a flower. Like, these are very simple, wholesome things that we know feel good. The old adage of like, slow down and smell the roses, right? This is what we're talking about. How can we make that part of how we live, not to ignore any problems or any challenges, but to train our system, our experience, to hang out more with the good stuff and to invite the good stuff even more so we feel better, right? We live in the green. Art, music, creating. Creating is such a way, when we can start to feel like we're getting into a flow state and things are just really moving for us because we're in this state of safety and enjoyment and savoring. And we're really accessing our radiance in this state. So really just think to yourself, what are things that I do, places I go, experiences I can create and have where I feel light and I feel happy? And consciously, intentionally having more of that in your life is a step towards really feeling good a lot more of the time. Now, I haven't mentioned this, and this is a huge one, and this is super, super important, is this idea of co-regulation. And so co-regulation is when I'm here and you're there, and my nervous system, I'm either here or I'm more in this green state, right? And same with yours. Your nervous system is either here or out here. Well, the crazy thing is that our nervous systems are always picking up information from each other and we're impacting each other. And so we call this co-regulation. And I really like to think of this. I think a great example is with our pets. So if you've had a stressful day and you come home, because we co-regulate with our pets, and let's say I have a golden retriever, is one of my dogs, and she's very sweet, and she'll come up and she loves contact. Her name is Honey. She has this long hair, and she's very soft, and when she's kind of panting, but it looks like this big smile, and it always, you feel like this creature is greeting you with this big smile, and she has like happy eyes and she just wants like hugs. And if I've had, a stressful day or I have things on my mind, like as soon as I like bend down to make that contact with her, my system starts to respond and I have a little bit of, okay, I can find a little expansion because in this moment, she's open for connection. She's happy. She's, wanting that affection. And I'm able to meet her there. Maybe you have a friend who, just generally has a good attitude, generally is like kind and curious and fun to be around. And you've probably noticed like, oh, when I spend time with this friend, this happier, more connected friend, I feel better when I leave that situation. But then when I'm with this other friend and they're anxious and they've got a chip on their shoulder and they're always like getting into, fights with people and starting drama and they're just like, after I spend time with them, I just feel heavier and I just, right? You've co-regulated with the wrong person. And so this is where, as we start to create this life and this way of being where we have more expansion and we have more of the ability to live in the green, in this ventral vagal state, we have to choose who we hang out with. Who do we spend our time with? And if we're spending time with a lot of people who are like this, we have to know it will impact us. Now, we can grow to the place where, we're so connected with our system and we have all these tools to stay regulated and expanded. And we kind of feel a little bulletproof with like, okay, you're not going to impact me. It takes a while to get there. But even then, we can still find ourselves co-regulating down to a place where we don't feel as good. And so when you find those people in your life who have this expansive effect on you, you hold on to them. You nurture those relationships. And you pay attention to how you show up for the people in your life. And if you are feeling like this and you're like in your anxiety and feeling all of this, and you're about to go see someone, maybe you're about to get home, you're going to see your family, really taking the time to tend to your system, to drop in, to notice where you are, to orient, to get yourself in the here and now, and then to invite in a little bit of this before you have to interact, so that we are able to then help each other continue to get into a more connected state, rather than walking in like this, all crabby and all, upset with everything, and then we drag other people down, and that becomes this self-perpetuating state that we live in. So that was something I wanted to really drive home, is that co-regulation is a real thing. And it matters who we spend our time with, how their energy is impacting our system, and how our energy is impacting those around us. So one more kind of like, almost like a hack or a trick that we can do to help our system find expansion. And this comes straight from Dr. Peter Levine. This is called the Voo Breath, and I have shared it on my YouTube channel before, but it's so powerful. I do want to go over it before we close out this part 5 of this series. So what's happening with the Voo Breath? This is like this ninja move to really help the vagus nerve that really controls our nervous system, to help it really feel some safety and to get a little bit of flow back into it. And this is something that you can practice every day. So I know you're doing your 5 minutes of meditation. You could start it with a Voo, do your 5 minutes, and then end it with a Voo, and really just give your system this experience of expansion every morning consistently, and then we just stay there more easily. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate it. So we do a nice breath in, and then on the exhale, we're making the sound Voo, like with a V, and we're trying to have the sound really come from our stomach area, and paying attention for a little bit of vibration, kind of like the feeling when you hum a song, you have a little vibration here, and that's really stimulating that vagus nerve to tell our system, or we're telling our body, you're safe, you're good, we can feel some expansion. Okay, so here we go. Big breath in. And we let the next breath just kind of come in naturally. And then we kind of just let it settle. And I like to take this time to orient. Remember, we take in our space, pressing my feet into the ground, really giving my body the sense of safety. And we're going to do another one, and I'm going to try to make it a little bit deeper, really coming from the stomach area. And letting the next breath just come in naturally and letting it settle, and you might feel energy moving. You might feel like different temperatures on your skin. It's a powerful exercise to really just go like, oh, okay. And it's helpful for when we're really feeling stuck as well. It's like, oh, nothing's helping. I'm looking around. I'm pushing my feet into the ground. I kind of need a little like nudge into this expansion. You do a couple of Voo breaths, and then really give yourself time to let it settle. And I'm still feeling it kind of settling. And notice some maybe spontaneous, deeper breaths as your system settles and getting that expansion. So that is a little ninja trick to put in your back pocket. I like to tell clients two kind of cool places that you can do it regularly. One is in the shower. No one's paying attention. No one can hear you. You're in the shower. You've got the running water, and you shower regularly. So it's like a great place to just remind yourself, like, oh, I'm in the shower. I'm going to do a couple of Voo. I'm really going to settle my system here. And then the other place is if you're driving in your car and if you're by yourself, and maybe you're in traffic or you're commuting to work, great way to do, on your way to work, especially if you're feeling stressed or school, giving yourself a few Voo breaths before you get out of the car. And then on your way home, preparing yourself to get into a more expansive state before you start relating to your family and your loved ones. So there you have it. Ways to really invite expansion and safety into your system. I hope you will join me next time for our final part 6 of this series as we continue to build on our capacity to feel better, reduce our anxiety, and to really improve our mental health. So thank you for joining me. Please like, subscribe, share this with somebody who needs it, and I will see you next time. Take care.